Welcome to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the Bradley Center for NBA Wednesday as the Bucks host the Denver Nuggets, their final game before the All-Star break. Could this be the final game for Carmelo Anthony in a Denver Nugget uniform? Of course, we've been asking that question for the last few weeks and may ask it for the next 8 days, but that's it. The trade deadline is on February 24th. Hello, everybody. Along with John Barry, I'm Dave Pash. Another day, another minute, another rumor about Carmelo Anthony. The latest with the Nets. We've heard the Knicks. We've heard the Lakers. JB, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, those are the three possible destinations that we've heard. The New Jersey Nets are back in the mix. The deal not quite as good as it once was. The New York Knicks, they think the Denver's asking too much. That might not happen. The Lakers, I don't think there's any validity to that at all. So I think Carmelo Anthony is still going to be a Nugget when it's all said and done in 8 days. And I know everybody's ready for this to be over.
We talked with Carmelo before the game. You'll hear some of those sound bites throughout tonight's telecast. Joining Melo in the starting five will be Chauncey Billups. There, of course, have been rumors about his future as well in Denver. Aaron Aflalo, George Karl says maybe he's been his most consistent player this year. Kenyon Martin and the Ney having a terrific season in the middle for Denver. And for Milwaukee, which comes in 21-33, but maybe off their best game of the year against the Clippers on Monday, Brandon Jennings and Salmons in the backcourt. Delfino Bamute in for the injured Ilyasova is out with an eye injury, and Andrew Bogut, third-team All-NBA center from a year ago. Carmelo Anthony is the NBA's leading scorer in the month of February, averaging 30 points per game. You see the two games with 40-plus. He had a 50-point game a week ago against Houston. Denver 31-25, currently 7th in the West along with Utah. But Memphis coming on, just a half game behind them. The Grizzlies have won their last 4.
Well, evidently, Carmelo trying to up the ante for the Denver Nuggets if he wants to make a trade the way he's been playing lately. I guess after he started eating again, he's picked up his game. I don't understand how you can play without eating, as we'll get into later about his fasting for 21 days. That I'm not so sure I completely buy into that, but
he said it works.
He said it. Hey, cleanse his body. However, he needs the rest of his Nugget team to get cleansed, because they're coming off 2 horrendous losses here on this road trip.
Yeah, Memphis and Houston, games in which they had double-figure leads, blew them both. And a steal by Jennings to start the game for Milwaukee, and swatted away by Nene on the other end.
A terrific block there. Nene not giving up on the play. Jennings got to learn how to go into Nene's body on that. Make sure you get the foul at worst on that fast break.
Billups missing the jumper, and Jennings missed about a month after breaking his left foot. 19 games he was out, and he's kind of struggled since then, though he did have 20 points against the Clippers on Monday, maybe his best game since the injury, as Bogut misfires. Now Bogut also coming off an injury, although his was more horrific at the end of last year. When Milwaukee made the playoffs, Bogut was unable to go, and he told us today that he's still feeling the effects of that right arm injury.
And Jennings dealing with his first major injury, first surgery of his life, as Nene gets the finish off a nice pass by Kenyon Martin.
Well, I know, John, when you look at this Bucks team after 46 wins a year ago, you expected more than 21-33.
I did. Last year they were 26-28 at this stage. They went on a monster run to finish the season, 22-9. Took the Atlanta Hawks to 7 games in the first round of the playoffs. All that without Andrew Bogut. And now you add Corey Maggette, Drew Gooden. I thought they made some nice additions, and I really felt like this team was ready to step in to possibly even a chance at having home court advantage, a 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. But a lot of injuries, a lot of struggles on the offensive end. Last in the NBA in offense, last in field goal percentage. And Scott Skiles told us today, look, we'd have games we missed 20 to 25 wide open shots where we do everything right. We defend well. We play together, we do the right thing, but we just can't get the ball in the basket. And that seems to be their major problem.
Yeah, they're last in the NBA in scoring, but tied for 3rd in fewest points allowed. Denver leads the league in scoring, but is near the bottom of the NBA in points allowed, as defensive 3 seconds is called, so it'll be a technical free throw.
Dave, how about 19 straight road games they've given up at least 100 points? 19 straight times on the road, and 5 of the last 6 over 110.
Well, Maybe the guy who's frustrated the most is shooting a free throw, Chauncey Billups. This is a guy that's used to playing in conference finals. He had that long run with Detroit, and then his first year in Denver, he leads them to the conference finals. Last year, you could understand it. You had George Karl dealing with the cancer. This year, it's been a little bit harder to take watching this team lose.
Well, yeah, it's not just the Melo situation. I mean, this whole team, we don't have any idea what this team's going to look like next year as Melo knocks down his first jump shot. A lot of free agents. George Karl still not having a deal. So this franchise is ready to make a major turn next year, one way or the other.
Although Anthony is not ruled out signing that 3-year, $65 million extension. We'll get into that a little bit more as Delfino drives, coming off back-to-back 20-point games. Never in his career has he had 3 straight 20-point outings.
Well, Carmelo Anthony, we saw the numbers in the last 7 games. Offensively, I'd be curious to see what he's given up defensively at the same time. We know he can put up big numbers with the 50-point game a few weeks ago, but as we see the great offense again. But on the defensive end, George Karl clearly not happy with his effort on that end of the floor.
Melo picked by the fans as a starter in the All-Star game for the 3rd time. He'll be there for the 4th time overall this weekend in LA as Bamute gets to the basket. And he's coming on of late, starting for the 28th time this year, 3rd year out of UCLA.
Would you say you're surprised that Denver has 31 wins? George Karl's surprised. He's very happy where they're at. He anticipated maybe 33 wins at this point. So they're only a couple behind that pace. A lot of talent, obviously, all the off-court issues. I don't know. Would you be happy with 31 with this team?
He feels like he's happy with the way they've handled the distractions. And you look at the West and you say 31-25. That's not bad. They've had some good wins. As Bogut trying to back down Anthony, and that one comes out. But as Karl told us today, they got to play better on the road. They're just 9-18 away from home as Nene hits the jumper.
Role players, as you said, that are a big part of this team. Lawson, J.R. Smith, Birdman, Al Harrington, always play better at home. And numbers bear that out over the years. Your bench players are always better at home. Haven't played very well on the road.
Salmons with the basket. What a move last year when Milwaukee picked him up near the deadline. He averaged 20 points per game after coming to the Bucks, who went 22-8 down the stretch. He struggled to shoot the ball this year, career low 38% from the field. As Nene gets inside and is fouled, he already has 4 points and will go to the line for 2.
He's the guy that needs his back against the wall. You know, Salmons went to Chicago, played terrific. Then he got a contract and didn't play so well. Then he came here. His contract was up again. And he played terrific. Now he's got a contract and he's struggling again.
Coming up tomorrow, final NBA action before the All-Star break on TNT. And it's a good doubleheader. The Bulls, Spurs, followed by Dallas at Phoenix. We got the BBVA NBA All-Star Celebrity Game on ESPN Friday at 7. You got the T-Mobile Rookie Challenge at 9 on TNT. And Saturday, the NBA D-League All-Star Game. How about the Bulls, where they're playing? They're just 2 games out of first in the East.
9 games they've been totally healthy this season with Noah and Boozer in that lineup. And yet they still stand 2 back of the top spot in the East. Look out for them in the second half.
Bogut with the shot clock at 4. Delfino an open 2. And Carlos Delfino, the 6-year man from Argentina, off to a good start with 4 points.
Well, that's good ball movement there by Bogut, but I'd like to see him become more aggressive. I mean, he's a guy that needs 15 to 18 shots, averaging 13 points a game. Really the only low post threat that the Bucks have. This guy needs to become more aggressive, demand the basketball. His teammates need to find him and establish a presence down in that paint. 13 points for this guy is not enough.
Delfino picked up the foul. Second on Milwaukee. Here's Aflalo, who's had a terrific season for Denver. And now Melo. 2 for 2 from the field, and that's his first miss. Cleared by Bogut. Jennings looking to push the pace. Here's Bogut attacking Nene. It's something Scott Skiles says he's got to do early. But Bogut misfiring so far on all 3 tries from the floor.
Well, we asked him today about that elbow, and you mentioned it earlier, just a horrific looking injury he had last year. And he says the elbow still bothers him to this day. And he felt like he came back too early.
Good defensive play by Jennings.
40% shooter from the free throw line.
Yeah.
And you see him go to the left hand a lot. It was the right elbow.
Right.
And he uses that left hand a lot. Maybe sometimes when he really shouldn't be using it. As Bob Moute knocks down a jump shot. Pleasant surprise there for the Bucks.
Second field goal for Bob Moute as you see the squad 6 group. Andrew Bogut's fan section. He actually buys those seats for those guys to sit up there and throw confetti and they get into it.
Squad 6?
Yeah.
I like that.
Manet, no, and Jennings again looking to push tempo. Nobody picked him up. They couldn't hit the 3. Loose ball to Billups.
Still working his way back from the injury, as you mentioned. And you remember the 55-point game in what, his 8th or 9th game in his career in the NBA? Might have been a curse. A lot of expectations after that 55-pointer, but he's a great kid. He works hard, and he's going to be an excellent player in this league for years to come.
As far as the Knicks goes, man, it's, I think a lot of people just putting the extra emphasis on it. It all started when I said that, who wouldn't want to play in the best city, in the world. And then everybody started saying Melo wanted to go to New York. Then I did another interview and said, who wouldn't want to play home? Who wouldn't want to go back home to play? And then that added some more, fuel to the fight.
So from what we're hearing there from Carmelo Anthony, the update on his end is that he's down playing the Knicks.
Really? I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't believe you, Dave.
I'm not going to the Knicks.
All this speculation could be squashed if he would just come out and say what he wants to happen. I tried to ask him that today. He doesn't know. And so how do we know what's going on with this? I mean, now the Knicks are saying the Nuggets are asking for too much. They want 3 starters to go along with an expiring contract and a first-round pick. And the Denver Nuggets have really botched this thing as Sammons knocks down the jump shot. They've waited too long. Their bargaining power is gone. People understand in 8 days, if Carmelo Anthony's a Nugget, they're more than likely going to lose him this summer and get no compensation.
He can opt out. He's due to make $18 million next year, or he can sign an extension right now with Denver for 3 years, $65 million. As Martin misses, and there's the uncertainty with a collective bargaining agreement as to how contracts will be shaped, and that has to weigh on Anthony's mind.
Well, Dave, we talked about how do you look at a $65 million contract and not sign it? If he rolls an ankle tonight and never plays again, I mean, you're taking such a risk. If you really want out of Denver that bad, sign the extension and say, get me out of here.
Anthony to the bucket. That's a big reason why there are a lot of teams around the NBA who'd love to have him on their roster.
Wow.
6 points for Carmelo.
You don't see him do that much. And that was very impressive. But, yeah, I mean, one of the best one-on-one players we have in the game. There's no question about that. And, woo, that was neat.
He's averaging a career high in rebounds this year at 7.5. Here's a Flalo from the corner, and he buries a 3.
Now, this is a guy that's kept this team together. Normally it's Chauncey Billups. He clearly is a leader of this team. But Aaron Aflalo, if it weren't for Kevin Love, is the most improved player in the NBA this year. He's had a terrific season.
Bogut tracks down the loose ball. Aflalo was the 27th pick in the 07 draft, traded by Detroit for a second-round pick. And Aflalo's averaging 13 per game, one of the best three-point shooters in the league, as Nene ties up Delfino and a timeout is called by Milwaukee.
Well, that's a heck of a trade because this guy is a heck of a player. As we're going to see Carmelo Anthony on the offensive end, one of the best in the business around Carlos Delfino. And Mr. Bogut, hello, welcome to my poster, my friend. Oi, oi, oi.
Carmelo Anthony and the Denver Nuggets with a 4-point lead on the road. Late first quarter here in Milwaukee. The question everybody wants to know, is this Carmelo Anthony's final game in a Nugget uniform? The trade deadline is 8 days away. The All-Star break this weekend. The Nuggets after tonight will not play again until next Tuesday. As Ba Moute is short with a jumper, and Melo with his 3rd rebound. He also has 6 points.
Well, DP, think about this. If they do move Melo, and let's say he goes to New York, and they get Raymond Felton, nice player. They get Danilo Gallinari, nice player. An expiring contract as Billups knocks one down. And a first rounder. Who's on the media guide for the Denver Nuggets next year? What do you build your franchise around? I mean, they got some nice players. I like Lawson, Aflalo. Do you re-sign Nene maybe? But where does that leave you?
Loose ball foul on Denver. I think it goes back to what Carmelo Anthony said when we talked to him earlier about looking at the roster. It's not just him. Who knows with Chauncey Billups? You got a team option there. Nene could be a free agent. Kenyon Martin. The head coach, George Karl, is a free agent technically as well.
Kevin Connors here with your Taco Bell studio update. Heat and Raptors, and another monster performance for LeBron James. 23 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. Chris Bosh with 25 and 6 in his return to Toronto. Andrea Bargnani with 38 in a losing effort. Meantime, Cavs and Lakers, and how about Christian Ienga? Baseline throwdown. Dave, the Cavs lead the Lakers by 3 in the 4th.
He thought Phil Jackson's press conference after the loss to Charlotte was short. The All-Star festivities continue on ESPN. Friday night, the BBVA NBA Celebrity Game with legends like Bill Walton, Magic Johnson, coaching a mix of celebrities like Justin Bieber.
Yes, Biebs.
Yeah, your boy Biebs, as you like to say. Jason Alexander, Rob Kardashian, Mullen, Pippen, they're all going to be there. John Barrett will be there as well. I understand that Justin Bieber, pretty good basketball player here, is with the Harlem Globetrotters, showing his dribbling skills.
Wow, the old spider. Look at this. He's going to be a marked man out there, though, I got to tell you. Jalen Rose told me if he's anywhere in the vicinity, he's going to be throwing his shots out in the 5th row. He wants him. He's after him.
He's threatening violence.
He is. You better be ready, old Biebs.
Salmon's missing the 3. But boy, if the Cavs somehow beat the Lakers, remember Phil Jackson said he was embarrassed, and it just seemed like a strange locker room after that loss to Charlotte. Imagine what it would be like tonight if they lose that one.
Well, we've seen this movie before. It's very early. A 3-point lead in the late 3rd quarter is certainly not going to be enough, I think, to hold off the Lakers.
Here's Chauncey Billups driving to the bucket, and count the basket. Blocking foul is called. Brockman tried to draw the charge. It's a 9-0 run for Denver.
Well, you know, we don't see Chauncey take the ball to the basket as much nowadays, but here uses his strength. Brockman slides in after Billups leaves his feet. Good call. Probably in the restricted area as well. But Chauncey Billups, you know, tough start of the season. First 30 games, really struggled, but the last 30, 35 games, he's really played well.
He's shooting 50% from 3 over his last 30 games. He's made his last 21 free throws. And that scoring average, which last year was a career high 19.5. Even though it's down a little bit this year, it's starting to inch closer to that 19-point mark as Salmons goes baseline and ends a drought of a few minutes as the Bucks had missed their last 6 over a 4-minute, 8-second span.
Well, Chauncey Billups, part of that uncertainty that you mentioned about the contract situation of so many of these Nuggets. A team option next year, he'll more than likely become a free agent. I believe $13-14 million or something, as Melo is feeling it. No ill effects to the shoulder that he hurt in the Houston game 2 nights ago.
And didn't play in the 4th quarter of that game. But he has 8 points tonight.
Yeah, looks just fine tonight.
Jennings 4-3, and Milwaukee continues to struggle shooting the ball.
I found that injuries normally bothered me on the defensive end of the floor, but offensively it never seemed to hurt.
Harrington, good look to Anthony, who already has 10 points. Denver's made its last 6 from the field.
Great pass here, 11-point lead. Nuggets playing decent defense, but we're seeing good looks from the Bucks. They just have the inability to not knock down shots. It's been their problem all season long. 42% as a team, 34 from 3, and they continue to struggle here tonight, particularly from the 3-point line.
Yeah, 0 for 6. Now 0 for 7 as Jennings is 0 for 4 from the field himself.
Those are good looks. I mean, you move the ball from side to side on the floor. Wide open shots, you got to knock them down. You want to win in this league.
Martin misses the turnaround. And here comes Jennings in transition. Both teams with a foul to give here in the final minute. Shot clock inside of 10. Salmons gets to the lane. Can't hit it, but he'll go to the line as J.R. Smith fouled him. Let's listen in on Scott Skiles, the Bucks head coach, is wired for sound.
Everybody be ready on the perimeter. Deliver the ball to each other, get our bodies, minds ready to shoot. Let's knock down our jump shots. Too many points for them, too. Come on, keep them down. Let's go.
There's only so much you can do, Dave. You can't will the ball into the basket as a head coach. I mean, like I said, they've had some quality looks. Wide open threes for Jennings. He's not been able to knock one down. Salmons has missed some shots. Delfino, who made 7 threes 2 nights ago against the LA Clippers, can't knock him down. I mean, it is what it is. At some point, you have to put the basketball into the basket. Now, they're doing a great job defensively, not here tonight, but as a whole throughout the season. Number 3 in points allowed in the NBA. I mean, they do a lot of great things. And it's just disheartening to get good shots and continually not be able to knock them down.
About a 4-second difference between the game and shot clocks. Earl Boykins on the floor guarding Billups. Bamute on Carmelo. Anthony calling for it. Here's Melo, 5 to shoot. Anthony with 3. Spinning on Bamute and hitting with 1 on the shot clock.
Knicks, you sure you don't want to give up that 3rd starter? Looking pretty good tonight.
Maggette with 1, and Boykins did not get it off. Carmelo Anthony with 12 first quarter points as the Nuggets close the opening quarter on a 16-4 run.
8 days away to the trading deadline. The Nuggets would love to keep this guy. He's on a hot start tonight. And the Nuggets looking good here in the first quarter, up 11.
Dave Pasch back in Milwaukee with George Karl. Coach, what impressed you the most about your offense that first quarter?
Well, we moved the ball freely. Melo got a lot of good looks. I think our spacing was good. This is one of the best clog, cover to paint, cover to basket defenses in the game. And I thought our shot selection was great.
They did not hit a 3. They took a lot of them. How much of that is your defense? How much of it is they're just missing?
Well, I think some of it's our defense, but we want to start our defense from the paint out and read how effective they are, and then if they make some, we got to make some adjustments.
Thanks, George. Thanks.
The Bucks 0 for 7 in the first quarter from behind the arc, 7 of 21 from the field, 33%. Same old problems for the Bucks, but on this evening, the defense wasn't there. 61% shooting for the Denver Nuggets, unacceptable number.
Carmelo Anthony almost outscored Milwaukee by himself. He had 12 points, 6 of 8 from the field as Boykins hits Milwaukee's first 3 of the game.
Well, you can count on Earl Boykins providing some energy, providing a spark. Huge factor in a couple Bucks wins this season. Huge game against the Lakers and a win in LA. And Earl's a spark plug, there's no question about it.
He spent 4 years in Denver with the Nuggets and his second stint right now with Milwaukee. Here's J.R. Smith with 3 to shoot, and Smith misfiring from 2, and Bogut with the board. Bogut has not scored, 0 for 4 from the field, but he does have a handful of rebounds.
Yeah, we just talk about great ball movement and people movement. When you come out first possession, you get a hoist from 3-point line as Salmons knocks down a jump shot.
Yeah, now 5 points in a row for Milwaukee, and that lead of 11 quickly to 6. And Boykins with a steal.
No coincidence when Chauncey Billups goes off the floor, the shot selection is not as good for the Denver Nuggets.
Here's Maggette, and his 2-point attempt too strong, trying to out-hustle Al Harrington, but it's Denver ball. J.R. Smith actually coming into today hadn't attempted a 3 in his last 3 games. That's got to be a rarity over the course of his career as Birdman trying to save it off Boykins. And Bogut trying to get a little too fancy. I don't know if that was a pass or a dribble attempt. And Melo for a 3, not there. Denver a 31-25 record. Milwaukee a 21-33. Currently 10th in the East, but just 3.5 back of Indiana, which currently holds down the 8th spot. A foul inside on Birdman. Listen on Scott Skiles during the last timeout.
We we got to pick up our level of play, guys, all over the place. We got to be more aggressive down here on this end, driving those seams, kicking it on time, getting our ball movement going. Okay, but on the other end, that's great defense there and a hell of a shot by a great player. But we got to get up and get into these guys.
That looks like that they've come out with more energy here in the second quarter, JB.
Well, they have. And, you know, Denver has helped with poor shot selection. Anytime you take bad shots, it usually leads to good shots for the other team as Birdman spikes the layup attempt of Earl Boykins.
3-on-1. Melo gave it up to Harrington. Second assist of the game for Carmelo Anthony.
2 already? No, I kid. He's there to score. He averages just over 2 a game.
Now, one of the more interesting things he said to us today was that he's pretty much in control when it comes to whether he signs an extension as he picks up a foul they're reaching in on Bogut. But then he made a comment later in the interview that he thinks Denver wants to go young. If they want to go young, well then why let him be in control of whether he signs a $65 million extension?
Well, if they want to go young, why would they offer him $65 million? That's the maximum contract that the Nuggets can offer him. That they can't do anything more than 3 years because he has an option year next year. You can only extend out to 4 years when you're under a contract. So this is the max deal. This is all they can do. They don't want Melo to leave. For him to say that they're going to go young and start over is certainly not true. And they wouldn't offer the contract. Right?
And I know that this seems to change daily, but he made it pretty clear to us that he thinks something's going to happen. Either he will be dealt by February 24th or he will sign the extension with Denver by the 24th. Harrington to the basket, and he gets hammered. And Harrington a little slow to get up. Larry Sanders picking up the foul for Milwaukee. Denver behind 12 for Carmelo Anthony, leading Milwaukee on the road by 8.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, brought to you by the Mitsubishi Outlander family of vehicles.
Kevin Connors in studio, your Sports Center endgame. Looky here in Cleveland. Anthony Parker, a 3. The Cavaliers are beating the Lakers 92-81 under 4 minutes to go. The Lakers have 18 turnovers. Kobe has just 13 points. And the night would not be complete without your daily Blake Griffin flight. Look out below, left-handed style. Clippers up 13 in Minnesota. Dave?
I don't know what was more interesting that you just showed us there, Kevin, as we look at John Barry's midterm report and his rookie of the year, obviously Blake Griffin.
Dave, I can't even name another person. He's that far and away, head and shoulders above the rest. He's absolutely a phenomenal player to watch. He's the most exciting guy in the NBA for me. I mean, I went to a Clipper game when I was in LA, not working. I went to a Clipper game. Did you hear me, Dave? I went to a Clipper game. I wasn't working. The people in LA are excited every night to see this guy play. He's absolutely sensational, and he's a deserving all-star. I'm looking forward to seeing him on Sunday playing the game.
Most exciting player to come into the league since LeBron James?
I think so, for sure. There's no question. Certainly not as ballyhooed as LeBron James, missing his last year with the knee injury, but, man, I don't think anybody expected this.
Especially because of that injury. A lot of people were starting to wonder after that, oh no, is this another Clipper draft pick that turns into a guy either can't stay healthy or is a bust? As Maggette is fouled hard by Anderson. That's 2 on Birdman.
Well, that's why Maggette was brought here. The Bucks not getting to the line enough last year. He's an aggressive driver to the basket. Always one of these guys that gets to the line numerous times in ball games, now coming off the bench. An instant offense type guy, and it really hasn't panned out thus far for Corey.
Did not play on Monday against his old team, the Clippers, because of a back injury. Normally, you know you're going to get 15 to 20 points per game out of him, and he'll shoot 80% from the foul line.
Just been no continuity for this Bucks team with all the injuries. I mean, you name a guy on the Bucks, and he's probably more than likely been out. Delfino, 32 games. Jennings with the surgery. Bogut's missed 9. Drew Gooden out for 28 games. Salmons has missed 9 games. Maggette's missed time. And people tend to forget Michael Redd is a member of this team who blew out the knee about a year ago. who evidently could be back on Monday.
Yeah, Bogut picking up the foul. Scott Skiles told us today that Red is expected to rejoin the team. They don't know a timetable for him to play, but they're hoping to get him out there and watch him practice. He's barely played the last couple of years because he's injured that knee twice.
I'm amazed that he's even come this far, Dave, after the same knee, same injury in a 2-year span. Just a horrendous break for Michael Redd, and I'll tell you what, the Bucks could use him. I mean, they can't shoot the basketball. Michael Redd could certainly do that.
ESPN is the home court of college hoops. Friday night, a Big East matchup at 9 Eastern as Louisville takes on Connecticut. As a wild Big East conference, Pittsburgh was pulling away from South Florida, but for a while there, Pitt, which leads the Big East, was struggling at home with the Bulls.
What a conference. They might get, what, 11 teams in?
Possible.
That's amazing.
Though the team that plays here, Marquette, starting to drop maybe to number 11. They've slid recently. St. John's beat them the other night. Cincinnati a big win tonight against Louisville as Maggette misses, rebounded by J.R. Smith.
Great job by Steve Lavin at St. John's.
They're playing Pitt on Saturday noon on ESPN. Denver by 8. Carmelo Anthony on the bench with 12 points. Harrington to the bucket. Al Harrington with 5 points.
Well, that's something Al Harrington needs to do a lot more. He's been a guy settling for three-point shots much too often. 37% from the three-point line, certainly respectable. He leads actually the NBA with three-pointers made from bench players with 93, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. You know, 2 years ago, he had that great year in New York, averaged 21 per game as Delfino, who also not afraid to shoot the three. And then Denver almost turned it over. Aflalo at his back turn, and Birdman tried to pass it to him. Here's Harrington for three.
Yeah, see, just go ahead and fire up the threes, like I said, huh?
Maggette on the drive. Milwaukee had missed its last 5 from the field. Maggette takes care of that.
Well, this is what you have to do if you're Milwaukee. You have to realize the struggles. You still haven't made a three-point shot. You've got Andrew Bogut. You made one three-point shot. I'm sorry. You've got Andrew Bogut in the post with Birdman. He shouldn't be able to guard him.
Yeah, Bogut hasn't scored yet. Boykins leaves it for Sanders.
We talked about the spark that Earl Boykins can create. That's a couple steals now for Earl. He's knocked down a three-point shot. He can harass the opposing point guard. Ball pressure, pick up the energy, and here go the Bucks again.
Bogut with a block.
Bogut. He leads the NBA.
Maggette to Sanders, and Sanders with back-to-back transition buckets.
Gee, we didn't see this coming, huh, Dave? After the Denver Nuggets own the Milwaukee Bucks in the first quarter with an 11-point lead, back come the Bucks, all predicated on their defense. Earl Boykins with a steal and a beautiful layoff for Larry Sanders, who throws it down. And again, another blocked shot by Andrew Bogut. Sanders finishes on the break, and the Bucks fight their way back in, down 4.
Back in Milwaukee, Denver's lead down to 4. We talked with Carmelo Anthony before the game and asked him about how much expiring contracts of his own teammates play a role in his decision.
That's something that goes into, into my decision. I don't want to call this a decision, but that's something that it comes down to, whether George is going to be, his contract is up. You have JR, you have Nene, you have Kenyon. Who knows what's the deal with Chauncey. And then my situation, that's the whole starting 5 and George. So you really don't know what's going to happen in a situation where everybody is up at the same time contractually. So that's something that I've been thinking about.
Please don't call it the decision. We've heard plenty of the decision.
Maggette fouled by Aflalo.
But he does raise a point where we talked about it a little bit, DP, is that where does this team go? Chauncey Billups more than likely a free agent after the team will decline the contract. Aaron Aflalo, restricted free agent, the starting 2 guard. Carmelo's situation. Kenyon Martin, the starting 4 is up. Nene, his contract is up. J.R. Smith, contract up. George Karl doesn't have a contract. So there are major questions here for the Denver Nuggets. And in the next 8 days, could have a huge bearing on what happens to this franchise going forward.
Well, JB, if you're Denver and you just listed all the things that you got going on, maybe Do you look at it and say, we're better off moving Melo because we got to go in a new direction next year anyway because we got all these other guys, some who we want to bring back, some maybe we don't, and we got to make a decision on the coach.
Well, that's something they have to weigh, certainly. If he did want to sign that extension, I'd certainly think that would be the route they would want to go. You have Aflalo, you have Lawson, you can re-sign Nene, and you still have a good nucleus of this team. Maybe you let J.R. Smith go. You could bring Chauncey back if you like, but probably not at the number that it's going to be, 13, 14 million. So that's a lot of questions for Josh Kroenke, the son of the owner, Stan Kroenke, who's put in the dubious position here.
Aflalo's got to save it, and he went in the backcourt. Can't do that. So violation. Milwaukee had an 8-0 run over the last minute and a half. When I'm talking with some of the Nuggets, people associated with the Nuggets today, they don't feel that Nene will opt out, that he'll stick around under his current agreement. And Nene's had a good year. He's a guy that a lot of teams might be interested in because he can score in the low post.
Sure. 63% field goal, number 1 in the NBA. And a guy really that I think would be a lot better in a different situation. You talk about a big guy that doesn't get many touches. Nene, they don't post Nene up. He's never a focal point of this offense. He kind of just gets his stuff, offensive rebounding, maybe running the break. But this is clearly a team that's run through Carmelo Anthony and perimeter players, Chauncey Billups, J.R. Smith. So he's a guy that I would certainly keep around. At his number, you're saying he's not going to opt out because of the collective bargaining agreement. You don't know what he might get. He might not recuperate that money if he were to opt out at $10 million.
Anthony is back on the floor, by the way, with 12 points. Denver leads by 2. Here's Chauncey Billups, and Billups hits a 2.
Boy, it'd be a nice problem to have. $10 million. I might not make 10. Yeah, I might make 8.5. That would be a crying shame, wouldn't it?
That goes back to what you said earlier, though. Melo's got this huge deal on the table, and there's a risk of him getting less money, not just because of the CBA, because the way the current agreement is set up, if he leaves as a free agent in the offseason.
Right.
Here's Sanders with a jumper, and the first-round pick out of VCU, unable to knock it down.
We certainly don't know what's going to happen in the CBA, but the length of contracts, I think, is something that is going to change. Right now, the 5-year maximum, 6-year maximum, and I think it's going to come down to 5 at least. I think the owners would love to bring that all the way down to 4 if they could, but so Carmelo would cost himself money if he wanted to go somewhere, be a free agent. Could only probably get a 5-year max deal as Larry Sanders gets his 3rd easy bucket here in the second quarter.
And Anthony giving up that one. He hit one on the other end, his 7th field goal. Aflalo misfires. Nene with an offensive rebound. First offensive rebound for the game for Denver. Anthony short over Maggette. Here's Maggette in the front court. And looked like he was grabbed by Kenyon Martin. A late whistle. They do get it, though.
He was giving up the foul, and nobody called it. Kenyon was waiting like, somebody called this foul. I grabbed him.
First foul on Martin, who's due to be a free agent. He's really struggled with that left knee that he had surgery on in the offseason. And Maggette back to the line for Milwaukee.
Yeah, just his 25th game for Kenyon Martin. Just 6 points a game, 5 rebounds. One of the premier low post defenders we had in the game for many years before his injuries.
Now, you talked about this earlier. It's just not happening for whatever reason for Maggette in Milwaukee this year. Yes, his minutes are down, but he hasn't shot the ball great this year. 13 points per game. He had ankle surgery last summer. And Milwaukee back within 3.
Well, he's a guy that is at his best on the break. We've seen it already 3 or 4 times tonight. He can get the ball, he can get to the basket, get himself to the line, put the pressure on the defense. Milwaukee, a team that doesn't really run, and that's where he's really at his best.
They leave Delfino for a second and unable to hit the triple.
This guy did not hit the rim the other night in his 7 3-point shots that he made against the Clippers. And the Bucks continue to struggle. Oh, it's a travel.
Yeah, Nene called for a walk.
Even in the NBA, they had to call that one. Forgot the loaf of bread. No, you can't argue that one, Nene. That was pretty clear cut.
That was old school walking right there.
That's the only school, but unfortunately that's not going to work.
Meanwhile, Andrew Bogut has not scored for Milwaukee, but he does have 9 rebounds. Salmons is the leading scorer with 10 for the Bucks as Jennings drives and they call Nene for a block. That's 2 on him.
This is the Denver Nuggets in a nutshell, right? The first quarter, 16 points given up, great offense, 61% shooting, and now second quarter they go 4 for 15 from the field, 4 turnovers, poor shot selection, lack of ball movement. The defensive end, they're getting beat, easy baskets. And this is the story of this Denver Nugget team, as inconsistent a team as you can find in the NBA.
They're tied for 7th right now with Utah in the West, but again, Memphis really coming on.
Yeah, surging. I like that team.
Won 4 in a row as Bamute replaces Sanders. And by the way, that was the first point for Brandon Jennings tonight. And one more free throw coming for the second-year man out of Oak Hill Academy. He'll be playing in that rookie-sophomore game that Carmelo Anthony's going to actually be an assistant coach for the sophomore team in LA.
Right? Is that right?
He'll be at the doing the celebrity game with Mark Jones on Friday night.
Friday. He and Justin Bieber probably go hang out after. Oh, wow.
Martin with the alley-oop to Anthony, and that's 16 points now for Carmelo. I understand that Mike Breen will not be officiating, so there won't be any confetti thrown at you.
I'm so disappointed. I really wanted to pay him back. I'll get him somewhere down the road.
Jennings with a jumper, his first field goal. Milwaukee within a point. Two and a half to go in the first. Denver, which leads the NBA in scoring, just 39 points, but a 1-point lead on the team that scores the fewest points. A beautiful move by Nene with the left hand.
Well, that really was, and I thought he got hit on the play. Bogut looks like he hit him right across the arm, but an excellent finish by Nene.
He's got 8 now. Delfino in the corner. Anthony didn't get out on him, but Delfino couldn't hit the 3.
0 for 5. Delfino from the three-point line. 7 for 10 just a couple days ago. That's the game of basketball, isn't it?
He's also struggling to guard Anthony, although he did a good job there forcing Anthony to pass it out. Billups with 5. Here's Anthony behind the line. Anthony drains a 3. He's got 19.
It's just too easy. At that time, a little overhelp there by Delfino on the Chauncey Billups drive. Commits to Billups. Chauncey does his job. Sucks in the defense, finds a wide open Carmelo Anthony who knocks down the 3. And boy, does he have it going now. Beautiful lob here from Kenyon Martin. Great finish. And on the other end, Brandon Jennings finally gets his first field goal. Got to get it going if the Bucks are to have a chance in this one.
Kevin Connors in studio. Your Sports Center in-game takes us to Cleveland. This is J.J. Hickson. Wide open throwdown. Cavs led by as many as 11 in the fourth quarter. It is back down to a 4-point game, 103-99, under 12 seconds to go. It is Lakers basketball. We will take you to Cleveland and give you full highlights coming up at the half. But right now, we'll send it back to Milwaukee and Dave Pasch. Dave?
Boy, you wonder if the Lakers lose, is that the worst loss this year by any team in an NBA regular season game? Certainly would be a disappointing game. Here's your most disappointing team, John, this year.
Can I change that to the LA Lakers? That's pathetic. No, but this team, I just thought that this team was ready to take that step. We see 26-28 at this stage last year. They're 5 games back at that pace. Now remember, they won 22-9, got themselves into the playoffs, won 7 games with the Atlanta Hawks without Andrew Bogut last season. So they're only 5 games out in the loss column for the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. So if they do get hot again, they might give themselves an opportunity to get into the playoffs. But this is a team I really expected a lot out of this season.
Salmon's nice move to the bucket and a 3-point opportunity for him.
Well, that's what the Bucks have got to do. If you're not going to post Bogut, get yourself to the basket, get to the line, get some easy ones. You're 1 of 11 from the 3-point line. Time to put the ball on the floor and get yourself some easy opportunities.
You know, it's almost like the Bucks never recovered from that Game 6 loss here at home to Atlanta. It was 3-2. The city was going wild. They figured there's no question they're going to win that game. And some of the Bucks folks thought they played their worst game in 2 months. They ended up losing in Game 7, got off to a slow start this year. And here they are, 12 games under 500. in their final contest before the All-Star break. Shot clock at 5. Melo with the jumper. He's now 9 of 14 from the field. It'll go to Milwaukee. Coming up on the Toyota halftime show with Kevin and Legs. I'll give you the final on the Laker game with Cleveland and Bosch back in Toronto. Will he be treated like LeBron was? We're told that the Cavs did beat the Lakers. That is a final.
Wow.
Jennings for 3. Way off. Rebound Manet. Again, Phil Jackson had a 5-second press conference, said he was embarrassed. Ron Artest is asking reporters to try in his cologne after the last game, almost like some of the players maybe weren't taking it as seriously as others. Andrew Bynum kind of indicated that in his interview, and here they lose to the Cavs.
Yeah, well, 3 games in a row now, just flat out embarrassed. The Orlando Magic on Sunday on ABC. At Charlotte, 20-point loss. And then tonight to a team reeling is not even, I can't even put it that way. I mean, just a surprising development there. I mean, you got to think this team is ready to put it together. I mean, you know, you see this a lot with teams right before the break that take the break before the break gets there, like the Denver Nuggets have the last couple ball games. And that's a good time for teams to, if you really focus, you can really make some hay in the, 8-10 games before the break, because everybody's ready for you. You know, you've been going hard at it since October in training camp, and you need those 3-4 days off. It's a great time to relax, regain your legs. But clearly the Lakers are not focusing in the last 3 ball games.
15 points now for Salmon Zaflalo, who just picked up his 3rd personal foul. Milwaukee back within 1. There's about a 5-second difference between game and shot clocks. Milwaukee does have a foul to give here. Carmelo Anthony, the leading scorer in the game with 19 points. He comes to set the screen for Billups. Here's Melo with 5. And Anthony blows by his defender and puts it in. Wow. 5 seconds left in the half. Milwaukee can get a good shot. Jennings from the elbow. And Carmelo Anthony with 9 in the quarter, 21 for the half, and Denver leads by 3.
You said blows by. That was big time. Foul to give. Should have used it as Carmelo goes for 21. Salmon's for 15 for the Bucks. Good first half for the Denver Nuggets.
Not a good night for the Los Angeles Lakers. And coming up on the Toyota halftime show, Kevin Connors and Tim Legler will tell you all about what went down in Cleveland. Remember, this is a Cavs team that was blown out by the Wizards, who hadn't won a road game all year. That's coming up on the Toyota halftime show. 46-43 Denver behind 21 from Carmelo Anthony at halftime. Could it be Carmelo Anthony's final game as a Denver Nugget? The trade deadline 8 days away. The Nuggets, after tonight, because of the All-Star break, will not play until next Tuesday. If it is his final game as a Nugget, certainly will be a memorable one, at least in the first half. He was spectacular, JB.
We know this guy's a big-time scorer. There's no question about it. He can do it in a variety of ways. He's a great jump shooter. He can put it on the floor. This time he uses a great screen here. Great ability, right, to raise up. It doesn't matter where a man is. You're not going to block this guy's jump shot. The explosiveness going to the basket. He can go right, he can go left. And this is just simply a very, very difficult shot against a great defender. He go in the post, get the lob, great strength. I don't think people realize how quick this guy is with the basketball. The blow by here, able to finish. A terrific first half for Carmelo Anthony. He's been the difference maker why the Denver Nuggets are up 3 points.
10 of 15 shooting. Also 4 rebounds and a couple of assists. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Bucks scored 27 in the second quarter. And that's one of the problems with the Nuggets. Not only do they score, but they also give points up. Milwaukee didn't play that great, yet they're only down 3.
Well, the same problem that has plagued them all season long, jump shooting. Open jump shots. They were 1 for 11 from the 3-point, 1 for 12 from the 3-point line. Jennings, just 1 of 7. Delfino, he's 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. He's the guy that won 7 for 10 2 nights ago. So continue with the execution, play better defense, make some shots, and the Bucks will be right there in the end.
1 for 12 as a team from 3, 39% from the field, yet Scott Skiles' squad only down 3. Coming off one of their more complete games of the year, a victory by 24 at home against the Clippers. Currently in 10th place in the East. Denver is 7th in the West, 31-25, the Nuggets record.
How about 2 offensive rebounds in the game? 1 for each team.
And another missed 3 by Denver.
Another 3.
Or Milwaukee, rather.
Well, he's coming back from the ankle surgery, or the foot surgery. Clearly his legs aren't there, and every shot is short. Maybe not. Don't settle for the 3. Get the ball to the basket, get yourself to the free throw, and get a couple easy ones. Feel good about yourself.
Defensive 3 seconds called on Milwaukee. Well, you made the point, John, in the first half about Jennings that maybe that 55-point game was bad for him because he almost got too much recognition. That was the most points scored by a rookie in a game in some 40 years.
Right. Well, the expectations were high. Like, when are you going to do this again? Now, granted, it was against the Golden State Warriors, a team that played no defense last year. He had a hot night, and I think people expected to see that. Not on a nightly basis, but certainly periodically throughout the season. It didn't happen. He struggled, especially his second time through teams that he played. They made adjustments.
Bamute fouled by Martin. Clear pass should be 2 shots on the ball. Yep, and that'll be the call here. It was obvious, so 2 free throws in the ball as Bamute had a breakaway. But just to finish up that point on Jennings, he finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting last year. And as you see, Kenyon Martin committing the clear path foul. And that's a mistake. And just give up the 2 points. Don't give him the free throws in the ball.
Right, just as good as another turnover. You already turned it over. It's basically 2 turnovers, and you give up 2 points.
One of the many things that frustrated George Karl this year. Of course, it's great to see George just back on the bench after dealing with throat and neck cancer last year. It's about this time a year ago that he announced that he had cancer again. Remember, he had the prostate cancer in 2005.
I couldn't think of a worse team for him to have to coach with what's gone on off the court. All the distractions that George, I mean, there's only so much you can do. I mean, so many of these things are out of his control. They're out of all these players' control, and those are sometimes the toughest situations.
He admits it's been extremely stressful this year as Billups misfires on the 3. Milwaukee ball looking to tie or take the lead again here on this possession. They have not led since 12-11 early in the first quarter. Bamute ties it at 47. And he's hit a couple jumpers tonight.
Well, he's not really the guy they're going to rely on to knock down jump shots, but yet he's made 3 perimeter shots here tonight. He's just 3 for 5. The best shooter the Bucks have. That's not a great sign.
Now, considering that
he's a defensive guy.
Yeah, he averages 5 points per game. As Phillips misses the layup. Jennings out in transition. Here's Delfino in the Nene, and they're going to get Nene for the blocking foul. That's his 3rd personal. 2nd on Denver here in the quarter, and Delfino will go to the line.
I love when teams attack early in a possession. Don't let a defense get set. Always a great time when they're on the move, they're not in the correct position. You can take the ball to the basket and get yourself easy opportunities. That time Delfino gets himself to the line.
He had 26 points in his last game against the Clippers, a season high. Just 4 points tonight. Yep. He's had some injury problems this year. Had a concussion and missed 32 games. It's been really the story of the year for the Bucks.
What did Coach Skiles say to us? He's had maybe just a couple games that he had an opportunity to put a healthy player on the inactive list. They haven't had one practice with their team as a whole all season long.
And Ersan Ilyasova, the only Buck to play in every game this year, is not playing tonight for the first time. Hurt his eye. Caught the wrong end of a Blake Griffin elbow incidental in the game the other night. Aflalo's short jumper won't drop, and Bogut, who's yet to score, gets his 11th rebound. Delfino will raise over Martin and hit the jumper.
I guess he just needs to get inside the line a few feet, and he'll be able to knock down some shots.
Boy, the energy we saw Denver come out with in the first quarter has not been here in the third, but that'll take care of that. Carmelo Anthony's first shot of the third is down, and a Milwaukee foul.
Well, that was his first shot, as you mentioned. Maybe you need to get in the basketball after a 21-point first half. Obviously, a clear advantage. Carlos Delfino is not going to be able to hang with Carmelo Anthony. He'll have his choice of whatever shot he wants to get. He can go off the dribble. He can go either way. Pull-ups, take it to the basket, whatever. Just a sensational score. And he continues his hot evening, even though it might be his last in a Nugget uniform. I'm starting rumors now. He's done. This is it. It's over. His last game is a Nugget. No, I'm just kidding.
Salmon's hits. Well, earlier you said you didn't think that he would be moved.
Did I?
You did.
Well, I don't know. Do you know?
But it does change.
You know something I don't know?
Hey, we came into today, and you pointed this out as Billups is grabbed by Jennings, that you wouldn't be surprised if the Nets and the Nuggets were still talking, even though their owner Prokhorov called it off about a month ago. And then a report comes out tonight, sources saying that the Nets and Nuggets have been talking.
But the deal is not as sweet as it was. We're not exactly sure who would be involved in this deal. That was a three-way deal with Richard Hamilton going from the Nets as Kenyon Martin gets the follow-up slam.
Well, we asked Melo before the game, anybody else other than the Nets, Knicks, Lakers that you know of where your agents come to you? And he said no. Now, he didn't deny the Lakers either in that conversation we had with him.
But he might not have known. We don't know if he knew anything about the Lakers. I don't think there was anything to that Laker thing. I just cannot imagine him going to the Lakers. Their greatest strength is Kobe Bryant and then their size. You give up Bynum, you lose that. Now you only have two big men on the roster, basically. Derek Carrington would be the third big man. Theo Rattler's been hurt all season. So I can't fathom that deal being done as Nene lays it in.
And Nene having a good night for Denver. He's got 10 points, 5 rebounds. But back to the Lakers for a moment, because you see them lose to the Cavs, lost to Charlotte, 3 losses in a row after they start great on their road trip. You think they'll do something? We'll see them make a move, maybe not for Melo, but for somebody else as Delfino gets to the basket.
Oh, good point.
3-point opportunity for him.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a move. I've heard Kirk Heinrich's name being mentioned. I know a couple years ago they were really after Kirk Heinrich. They struggle at the point guard position. You know, tonight, Ramon Sessions goes for 32 points. Point guards have given them fits. Quick, young point guards, they have a hard time guarding. Russell Westbrook had a great series against them last year in that 6-game first-round series. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised if they make a move. It's not going to be a major move. I don't think any of the big four, if you will, Odom, Bynum, Gasol, or Kobe are going to go anywhere. But I would imagine anybody else is expendable, and they would certainly love anybody to take Ron Artest off their hands, but I don't see that happening unless they don't have TVs wherever they live, where that team might be.
And boy, what a help he was in the playoffs last year. Won the game against Phoenix in the conference finals.
And then, Games 6 and 7, he outplayed Paul Pierce.
And they picked up his 4th foul, so he's on the bench. Birdman is out there now for Denver as Anthony finds Martin. Here's Billups. Shot clock at 5. Billups, nice look to Kenyon Martin, and Bogut picks up the foul, his 2nd and the 3rd on Milwaukee here in the quarter. Now the Lakers right now 3rd in the West behind Dallas. San Antonio looks great as the top team in the league right now is Bogut, a little shaken up there. Then you look at the bottom of the standings and you got New Orleans in 5th, but they're struggling a bit. Utah with the coaching situation there, now tied for 7 with Denver. And Memphis coming on of late. Portland playing better despite their injuries. Martin shooting just 39% at the line.
Well, it's going to be a dogfight. Portland, Phoenix, Memphis, Denver, Utah. 2 of those teams are not going to make it.
And you can watch all those teams at home, on the road, anywhere with NBA League Pass. Sign up now for a special half-season offer. Call your local cable, satellite, or telco provider today. Log on to NBA.com/League Pass.
That's a good look there.
I believe that's the headband that John Barry wore in his early years as a member of the Bucks.
No, never threw out the old headband.
You had hair back then. You had to show it off.
Yeah.
Salmon's leaning into a Flalo.
Good no call.
Salmon's with 17 points to lead Milwaukee. Kenyon Martin very aggressive here in the 3rd, and he'll get an opportunity for 3.
How about that? Looked like that ball was going to go up into the third row any moment, but he found a way to put a fork in it. A little crossover, gets the foul from Bahamute, and finishes with the left. You're right, a much more aggressive Kenyon Martin here in the second half.
All 6 of his points coming in the third. Bahamute picked up his second foul and the 4th on Milwaukee. He's made all 3 of his free throws. We mentioned came in just 12 of 31.
Oof.
Here's Bogut, still has not scored. 0 for 4 from the field. Now 0 for 5.
Well, that's just an advantage that he's got to take advantage. He's got to go at Chris Anderson. There's no question. He should be able to score on Chris Anderson with his strength. Anytime down in the post. Go back at it again. Teams have a tendency, just because a play doesn't work one time, to go away from it. That's still an advantage, getting the ball in the interior.
Here's Salmon spotting up. Too strong from 3, so instead of going inside, they settle for a 3 as Anthony back down court. A beautiful move, but he could not finish. Did everything but put it in. Anthony still the leading scorer in the game with 24 points. Salmon's to the basket.
3 seconds.
Offensive 3 seconds, so a turnover. Well, there's what we're talking about. The early years with the hair, not just on the head, but
look
on
at
the
Iron
face.
Eagle in the back.
John Barry, who spent his first 3 seasons with the Milwaukee Bucks. Also a member of the Nuggets during Carmelo Anthony's rookie year.
Oh,
I know my John Barry trivia.
Yes, thanks. Whew. I don't remember those 3 years myself. I think we won about 45 games in the 3 years combined. Not so good.
Delfino just picked up his 3rd foul. Now, you remember, one of the best years that the Bucks had was when George Karl was the coach. Back in 2001, they made it to the conference finals. Ray Allen was on that team.
Glenn Robinson.
You should be proud, though, JB. 14 years in the NBA. And that's not a lot of guys can say that.
Oh,
give yourself some credit.
I'm not here to talk about me.
No, fans like the haircut now much better.
Thanks. I don't have any numbers to back that up. But I was around. I stuck around. Longevity.
Carmelo Anthony now with 26 points. Denver back up 6. Bogut trying to pass out of the double team. And here's Jennings wide open. He just cannot hit anything. 1 of 9 from the field. It'll go to the Nuggets.
Now, there's nothing more you can do offensively. That's a great play. A wide open 3. 1 for 15 for the Milwaukee Bucks. Big time struggles here in Milwaukee.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, brought to you by the all-new Kia Optima, official vehicle of the NBA.
26 points tonight for Carmelo Anthony. We asked him before the game if anyone other than the Knicks, Nets, or Lakers have come to you or your agent about a trade. Here's his answer.
No other teams has been presented to me. Are there other situations that's out there that if this Denver situation don't work out that I can see, working out for me? Yeah, but as far as pointing any one team out, I really can't say.
What do you make of those comments, John?
Well, if he said that there's no other teams other than 3, but then he said there was another situation, he said, yeah, that presented itself. So is there another situation that's presented itself? Houston, maybe? They made it clear that they wouldn't mind renting him for the year. Dallas has been talked about possibly for just renting him for the rest of this season without the extension.
Again, he said today that he thinks something will happen. Either he'll be dealt or he'll sign the extension by the February 24th deadline. That kind of contradicts what he just said there, because it seems to me that what he said there is that if he doesn't get traded, that maybe in the offseason there might be another opportunity to go elsewhere. As Bogut fouls Anderson, that's 3 on Andrew Bogut, and that puts Anderson at the line, Milwaukee in the penalty. But again, you wonder, we've heard so many different things from Carmelo Anthony. It's hard to know what to believe at this point.
We don't. I mean, we're just going to have to sit, wait, find out. In 8 days, is he going to be gone? Is he going to be a member of the Nuggets? I'd hate to have to be the guy making that decision. I mean, we talked about all the free agents that the Denver Nuggets have and the uncertainty of this franchise moving forward with their head coach, number one, who's not under contract next year. Is he going to be back? 4 of the 5 starters.
And throw a follow in there, even though he's a restricted free agent. They can match any offer, but
it's a difficult situation.
8-0 run by Denver as Salmons has it blocked inside, and it will go to the Nuggets. Bucks have missed their last 5 shots from the field. We've had several stretches like this watching Milwaukee's offense struggle.
Well, it's painful. The starters 14 of 40 from the field, 0 for 14 from the three-point line. You know, I understand missing shots. 31 missed shots for the Bucks in this game. They have 1 offensive rebound. That's a lot of missed shots to only have 1 offensive rebound. And I guess you got to credit the Denver Nuggets for their defensive rebounding, but man.
Delfino and Carmelo Anthony thought he blocked Delfino's shot. Instead, it gets called for his second personal foul.
It might have been all ball, but anytime you take a swipe, it certainly looks like a foul. You know what? He got a lot of ball. Well, he hit it with his forearm, but when you swipe like that, it looks like it's a foul.
Pleading his case respectfully with Tom Washington as Delfino is 0 for 6 from 3.
Just points hard to come by for this Milwaukee Bucks. Last in the league in scoring. They're last in field goal percentage, last in assists, 24th from the three-point line. And they certainly haven't disappointed this evening with all those numbers. They're not moving up anytime soon.
Okay, this was a sheep pick to make a jump. 46 wins last year. A lot of people thought they could get to 50 this year and get in the top 4 of the East. They can still make the playoffs.
Good.
But
you know, you asked Scott Skiles, are you guys actively pursuing making a move? And he said, well, we certainly want to get better, but we've not had our full complement of players, and we don't know if this is the right group. It very well could be, provided they're all healthy and they get to see what they can do. Kenyon with the bank at the buzzer. Oh, wow.
9 points now for Kenyon Martin, all in the third quarter. Denver back up 7. Remember, the Bucks made a move to get Salmons last year at the deadline, and that helped. That elevated their team. And then Bogut.
And Jerry Stackhouse played a big role for them last year, too.
John Hammond did a great job last year, NBA Executive of the Year, as Carmelo Anthony has 28 points now, 12 of 19 from the field.
Carlos Delfino is not having a fun evening. Can't make any threes on his end. And boy, Carmelo Anthony is showing the whole repertoire on the offensive end.
Andrew Bogut still scoreless. And lost it there to Birdman. Here's Melo. He'll take it himself. And Anthony hits the 30-point threshold again. And a timeout, Milwaukee. 9 in the quarter for Melo. Nuggets lead it by 11. Back in Milwaukee, Carmelo Anthony with 30 points. He'll be at the All-Star game this weekend as a starter, and you can also watch the BBVA NBA Celebrity Game on ESPN at 7 Eastern. Bill Walton, Magic Johnson are the coaches. And you're going to see Scottie Pippen, Chris Mullin playing in the game. Justin Bieber, also a player.
Michael Rappaport, who I helped train, he won the MVP last year. So I helped him train this year to go for back-to-back. But I voted for the MVP last year. This year, the fans vote. So he basically has got no chance.
Justin Bieber's already won it, is what you're saying.
Well, it depends. Yeah, it depends who's
on
watching.
The age of the voters, too.
Correctly. Not if your daughter's watching. I know that he won't garner her vote. There we go, Andrew.
Andrew Bogut with his first field goal of the night.
You know, in the last play, he turned the ball over, trying to make a pass. Get aggressive. They need you to have some sort of post presence. Doing a great job on the glass, 13 boards.
And it's a drought, JB, of almost 5 minutes without a field goal.
They had one in the first half.
That pass through the hands of Anderson from Kenyon Martin. It's Milwaukee ball. We got a timeout. Denver trying to close out this game, and the Nuggets have done a pretty good job on Andrew Bogut so far, but Bogut got him that time.
Kevin Connors in studio, your SportsCenter in game. It's the loss heard around the NBA tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers, a 104-99 win over the Lakers. LA committed 19 turnovers. This was Phil Jackson.
In some sort of strange way, do they need this break? I mean, can things get any worse?
I think they took the break before the game. I think they went on the break before the game started.
At least it appeared like the press conference was longer than it was after the Charlotte game. For Phil Jackson, as we look at our Verizon game track here in Milwaukee, Carmelo Anthony with 30 points. Denver shooting 50% from the field. Milwaukee's bench keeping it in the game. 1 of 15 3-point shooting for the Bucks.
Well, the worst shooting team in the NBA. No surprise there that they struggle, but again, they trailed by 11 after the first quarter, got themselves right back in the ball game. A Nuggets a team that will certainly let you back in.
Here's Maggette. And now 1 of 16 are the Bucks from 3-point land.
At some point, don't you just not shoot him anymore? I mean, I'm thinking about John Starks back in about 1995, the Knicks against the Houston Rockets, when I believe he was 2 for 18 in that game. 1994 maybe.
So you don't buy into that old adage, if you're a good shooter, just keep shooting. Shot clock at 1. Here's Anthony, got rid of it and missed it that time.
No, I totally buy into that, but get better shots. I mean, if you're struggling from the 3-point line, I don't care if you're Ray Allen or Reggie Miller, you want to get an easy one, and any great shooter will tell you that as Salmons knocks down a jump shot.
He's got 19, and the Bucks back within 7, 2 to play here in the third.
There's something about seeing the ball go in the basket, through the net. I like the chain nets when I was back as a kid, on the playgrounds. It's something, that sound, it just gets you feeling good. Just get some easy ones.
Chauncey Billups now with 11 points. Denver 31-25. Milwaukee 21-33 entering tonight. Here's Boykins, gave him some energy in the first half. He finds Salmons in the corner, and there's a 3. Just the second of the night for the Bucks. Salmons with 22.
Keep shooting that 3-ball, guys. That's what you want to do.
There you go, changing your story again.
No, every time I say take it to the hoop, get some easy ones, they do the opposite, and it works. I guess I'm not going to be much of a coach.
Martin gave it up to Anderson, and he was hacked. Get Maggette for the personal. Bucks in the penalty. First on Maggette.
Wow. What's that going to look like when he's like 60?
I don't think he's done knowing Birdman. I mean, he's added each year to the tattoo collection.
Oh, Free Bird. That's what it says. Free on one side of the neck and Bird on the other. You know who sang Free Bird?
Skynyrd?
Leonard Skynyrd, correct.
By the way, tomorrow
really good tune.
TNT. Let me get this in here, JB.
I want to see this. San Antonio, Chicago on TNT tomorrow.
Dallas, Phoenix in the nightcap. You'll be at the BBVA NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. You'll also watch the T-Mobile Rookie Challenge at 9 on TNT. Of course I will. NBA D-League All-Star Game presented by Sonosite Saturday at 5 on NBA TV.
Isn't Blake Griffin playing in everything? He's doing the dunk? No, he's doing the Rookie Challenge, the dunk, and the game.
Yeah. Blocking foul on Harrington, and Salmons now with 24 and a chance to make it 25.
Wow, he is the difference here for the Bucks. Quietly with 24 points. Good take, a right-hand driver, no question about it. And it looked like Al Harrington might have been there. But nonetheless, he gets the foul, and he's going to get himself to the free throw line.
9 in the third quarter for the 9-year pro out of Miami. And a minute to go in the third, and the Bucks playing about as poorly as you can offensively, only down 4 points. Here's Harrington from the corner. Easy rebound for Bogut. That's 16 boards for Andrew Bogut. Maggette got Bird in the air. Maggette, count it, and a foul.
Great job by Maggette to attack the closeout. He had a wide open three-point shot. He put it on the deck. Birdman comes out for the block. Right by him. J.R. Smith slides in too late. And Maggette does what he does best. Gets it to the rack and gets himself to the free throw line. And just like that, we're looking at a one-point game after this goes in. Oh, jeez.
83% free throw shooter.
Mike Wilbon is a bad influence on me. Really. I've agreed with Mike Wilbon every weekend on ABC, and he's always wrong. I'm done with you, Wilby.
6 second. I'm sure he's devastated. Difference between the game and shot clocks. Here's Anthony with 4. Spins past Baamute. Anthony blocked by Salmons. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Maggette stripped by Harrington. No foul.
What? Really? Oh, my goodness. In today's game, I thought that might be a flagrant. The way they pass those out. Look at it. I mean, really? Huh?
Looked like he lost it before.
You know what? It really wasn't as bad as it appeared.
So it is Milwaukee ball with 3.7 to go here in the quarter. Nobody covers Boykins. Earl Boykins with a 1.7 ties it.
What a run by the Bucks.
Smith from three-quarter court. Tie game after 3 in Milwaukee.
Back in Milwaukee with Scott Skiles, a 10-1 run to close that quarter, Coach. What was the key there to that offensive surge?
Well, we started going the hole a little bit on the break, and we only got one guy making perimeter shots, and that's Salmons. And we're going to need another guy to step up here in the fourth quarter and knock down some shots for us.
What needs to be done to better defend Carmelo?
Well, we've done a pretty good job. You know, he's a great player. We've been up on him, trying to make him put the ball on the floor and not just shoot his jumper. But, you know, we're going to have to live with the results if we play him tough.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, Coach Skiles is right. They put the ball on the floor. They got some easy opportunities. Good block there by Salmons. 10 of 19 shooting in the quarter for the Bucks.
Salmons now with 25 to lead the way for Milwaukee. 30 for Carmelo Anthony to lead Denver.
And this is why Corey Maggette is an effective player. He can get himself to the free throw line, puts his head down. Salmons continues the hot shooting. 10 of 15 now. 27 points.
And Milwaukee leads by 2.
Well, this is the same thing that happened to Denver the last 2 ball games. Big lead in Houston, 15-point lead at one point. Same thing in Memphis. And 2 games they wound up getting beat handily. So let's see what happens here in the fourth quarter tonight here in Milwaukee.
Anthony stripped. It will stay Denver ball. The Nuggets have lost 4 out of 5, 7 out of 10. In particular, poor play on the road. As you mentioned, JB, they've lost 5 of 6 away from home.
And what did George say? He said, you know, a lot of times bad things happen, 2 or 3 possessions sometimes when you're on the road. But for his team, it's more like it's 6 or 7 or 8 possessions in a row that bad things happen. And they're in one of those stretches right now.
Anthony missing. He's 13 of 23 now from the field. And Boykins hit a big shot there at the end of the quarter as well. He's given Milwaukee good minutes tonight as Salmons is fouled by Nene. That's the first foul in Denver here in the quarter, and the 5th on Nene. As you look at this Milwaukee roster, they got a lot of injuries as Anderson's going to come back in for Nene, but you got Brockman, Baamute, Boykins, role players that have given Milwaukee some good minutes tonight because Jennings hasn't played well. He's 1 of 9. Bogut's 1 of 6. Maggette way off with that jumper. And here's Lawson, the second-year pro out of North Carolina. J.R. Smith, he's been quiet. Only taken 3 shots so far. Anthony posting up. Can't get the bounce. Rebound number 18 for Bogut. Here's Salmons in the lane. 29, a season high for John Salmons.
Turn back the clock. It's last year for Johnny Salmons here. Hit the Bradley center.
They're going to say no foul there. Just a strip by Bogut. It will stay Denver ball.
How about Salmons? Good pump fake there. Fades away. Wanted the foul call on J.R. Smith for swiping at his jersey, but Johnny Salmons, the difference maker here in the second half for the Bucks.
Melo. 32 for Carmelo Anthony.
Bahamute, one of the better perimeter defenders we have in the league. And there's nothing he can do with Carmelo on a straight isolation.
You know, it's interesting. You ask people around the league about Carmelo Anthony, and if you're the Knicks, Nets, or another team, would you make that move? And some say yes because of what you're seeing tonight on offense. Some say no because of what you're seeing on defense as Maggette gets to the bucket. Where do you stand on that? Do you think that you're automatically a better team if you have Carmelo Anthony, or does it depend on what team he goes to?
Well, yeah, it depends. I mean, but you're right. I mean, he's going to give you a ton on the offensive end. He's one of the best scorers we have in the NBA. But if you say he goes to the New York Knicks, does he complement Amari Stoudemire? Amari Stoudemire, a terrific pick-and-roll player. He's never going to run pick-and-roll with Carmelo Anthony.
See the numbers tonight for Melo and Salmons. As mentioned, a season-high 29 points.
A little more efficient there for John Salmons, just 16 shots as opposed to Carmelo's 25.
Anthony short with a 3. That's his 26th shot now. And Anthony comes up with a steal. Boykin's going to attack, but Anthony says, I got you. He wasn't going to block that one. He can get up, but at 5'5", not high enough.
Well, bad pass there by Earl Boykins. Cross court, not enough juice on it. Looked like a Jay Cutler pass against the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, there's a little shot.
Well, no, his knee was hurting.
Where did that come out of?
His knee was hurting.
Okay. Maggette got a 3 there.
Yeah, just keep shooting that 3 ball. It's been so good for you. He just airballed one about 4 feet over the rim from the corner, which is the easiest 3, and knocks down that one from the top. And that's just a horrible shot. That's just a bad shot. I mean, Chris Anderson, that's not your game. And you're just seeing too much with these Denver Nuggets. Poor shot selection.
Here's Boykins. Long rebound of Bogut.
This is the best 2-point game I've seen out of Andrew Bogut.
Got 19 boards.
19 boards and 2 points.
Here's Salmons working on Harrington. Salmons exploding with the left hand. Thought he was fouled. Outlet to Lawson. And Maggette picking up another foul. His 3rd and the 2nd on the Bucks here in the corner.
Boy, tall license quick. Jeez.
2nd year out of North Carolina, ACC Player of the Year 2 seasons ago. But Carmelo Anthony leading the way for Denver with 34 points. And here, great defensive play, the steal and the finger roll on Boykins.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, and America's Navy, a global force for good.
I think it's really important for all of us to have the opportunity to give back. You know, I think we realize that a lot of things went our way to become professional basketball players. To have the opportunity to repay our communities for the goodwill that we received is really important to us. Playing in the NBA gives us visibility that we wouldn't be afforded. So for us to be able to use that visibility for good is a phenomenal opportunity for us to make the world, hopefully, and our communities better.
Steve Nash, a helper on and off the floor, and there was a pretty good passer back in his day. Scott Skiles set a single-game NBA assist record against the Denver Nuggets back when he was a member of the Magic. Yes, Orlando scored 155 points, but 30 assists is 30 assists. Incredible.
So that would be Paul Westhead as the head coach for the Denver Nuggets. Not a whole lot of D there. Is that Greg Kite with the... Oh, my gosh, what a look. That was a Magic Johnson-type pass right there. That was sweet.
Skiles began his playing career here in Milwaukee back in 86-87 after playing collegiately at Michigan State. Now in his 3rd year as the Bucks head coach. 11th in the NBA as a head coach. Stints with the Bulls and Suns as well. Here's J.R. Smith. And Smith knocks down his first shot of the game, gets Denver within 3. Carmelo Anthony, the leading scorer in the game with 34 points, and what could be his final one as a Nugget. The trade deadline 8 days away, and this is their final game before the All-Star break. They don't play again until next Tuesday. Shot clock at 4. Salmons has had a great night, and it continues. 31 for John Salmons.
How about this? Shakes off Al Harrington, goes to the right. He can go to the left and pull up, gets to the basket. What an evening for John Salmons. On a night when Bogut and Jennings, who combined for 29 a game, are 2 for 15 for 6 points.
Bogut with a good defensive play. Maggette on the move, swatted by Martin.
I took the ball right into the defense. Go up on the left side, go up strong. That's a travel.
But Harrington gets the basket with the left hand.
It looked funny there.
Well, you said take it to the basket. Don't settle for the jumper.
No, well, certainly on the break.
Your advice?
Yeah, no, that was fine. That was fine.
Big game for Denver. You look at the fact they've lost their last 2 games on the road, and Memphis creeping up on them and Utah at the Western Conference standings as Bamute blows a layup.
When it rains, it pours.
Anthony swooping through the lane. He's got 36. And a timeout called by Milwaukee. He had 42 and 50 in games last week, and he's got 36 tonight.
Well, he can do it in a variety of ways, DP. This time puts it on the floor, gets the contact from Bogut, the nice fadeaway J. Melo's got it going, and the Nuggets are fighting back.
Kevin Connors here with your Sports Center endgame. Warriors and Jazz pick up action in the fourth quarter in Utah. This is Monte Ellis, NBA's 5th leading scorer. He's got 33 points after that one. Utah 0-2 under interim coach Ty Corbin. They trail Golden State, who is playing very well right now, by 7. 32 for Ramon Sessions off the bench. Cavs beat the Lakers. 38 for Andrea Bargnani in the loss to the Miami Heat. And Andre Iguodala, a triple-double for the Sixers, Dave.
And as you mentioned, Kevin, Bogut with 20 rebounds, but just 2 points, 1 of 6 from the field. This guy averaging 13 points, 11 boards, and a league-leading 2.8 blocks per game. He has 4 swats tonight. How about the Warriors? Kevin mentioned it. They're playing much better.
Yeah.
Ellis and Curry, a nice backcourt.
You had their game against Oklahoma City on Sunday. Very impressive win.
Keith Smart's doing a good job. They really responding to him. Here Milwaukee leads by 1. Salmons the leading scorer for the Bucks with 31 as Bogut misses again. He and Jennings a combined 2 of 16.
Got to use the glass. For all you young kids out there, Dave, when you're playing in the rec league, my friend.
With the chained rims, nets, as you mentioned earlier.
The chain nets, that's where it was at.
Billups over Boykins, and hard for Boykins to defend that, giving up about 6 inches. 13 for Chauncey Billups. Denver back on top thanks to a 6-0 run.
Brandon Jennings on the bench for a long time. Scott Skiles has stayed with Earl Boykins, who's sparked this team.
Maggette missed the jumper, but fouled inexplicably by Harrington, or make that Billups. He feels that he might have been pushed into him, and he's going to go make his case.
I think Maggette kicked his leg out. Is the argument here that he kicked Billups and fell down, the old Reggie Miller move.
That might be the explanation, because again, just don't see Chauncey Billups to make a mistake like that. The ball was clearly released by Maggette, and whistle blew a couple seconds later as Maggette gets the first free throw.
I think he threw out the leg there, and Billups wound up tripping over that leg and knocking Maggette down.
15 points quietly for Corey Maggette off the bench tonight. And Milwaukee back on top. Denver, the highest scoring team in the league. Milwaukee, the lowest scoring team in the NBA. And this right now being played at the Bucks' pace, and they lead by a point. Carmelo Anthony is 36 to lead all scorers, 16 of 28 from the field. Shot clock at 4. Martin takes the jumper, no.
You know, some of these possessions, you just wonder. I mean, Carmelo Anthony's got 36. They haven't proven that they can stop him. Well, get him the basketball.
Here's Salmons with the left hand, giving him 33 for the game.
What a great finish. This guy's not really a high flyer. He does a lot of his work underneath the rim. But that time, great use of the rim, using it as an extra defender, goes to the weak side, is able to finish with his offhand.
Boy, if he can play in the second half of the season the way he did after the trade last year, the Bucks still could get into the postseason. They got a 3-on-1 here. Everybody backs off of Boykins, and Anthony with the rebound.
A poor break right there. Two Milwaukee Bucks, Maggette and Bahamute, running together on the floor. You've got to get spaced. Give Boykins a place where you can throw in the basketball.
Here's Anthony calling for some help. He stopped his dribble. Anthony calling for it again. Shot clock at 4. Melo with 2. Anthony fouled by Bahamute with 1 to shoot.
I think I'm going to call that more of a bailout than a foul. That looked like pretty good defense there by Bahamute. Carmelo just forcing the action there late in the clock. Able to get the call. The crowd sees it on the big screen, and they certainly voiced their displeasure. Dave, you be the judge. I mean, that's just good, solid defense.
If anything, the contact was by Anthony with the left elbow coming up.
Wow, I mean, he went to Syracuse. You're a Syracuse guy. It's amazing that you're siding with.
He was only there 1 year.
Oh, so okay, yeah. What would Jimmy?
That was a pretty good year, though.
Yeah, I'd say they did okay.
Won the national title, of course, in 2003. Anthony going for his 38th point. He's the league's leading scorer in the month of February. And it has almost half of Denver's total in this game. Double team comes to Salmons. Here's Bogut. And they're going to call a foul on Martin out near the hash mark. That's 3 on him, 3 on Denver here in the period. Kenyon Martin shaken up.
And Scott Skiles going back to Jennings here for Earl Boykins for the final 3 minutes.
And Martin still doubled over. I'm going to fight through it. Shot clock at 7. Here's Salmons at the elbow. Bogut set the screen. Salmons could knock down the jumper, though. Denver with an opportunity to retake the lead.
Great execution there. Just left that one a bit short. As they're going to call timeout. Kenyon Martin down, clearly hurting.
And we got a timeout. Milwaukee on top by 1 late at the Bradley Center.
Kevin Connors in studio, your Sports Center endgame. Warriors and Jazz. Steph Curry had just 1 field goal in the game. This was it. Came at a big time. Monte Ellis had 35. Utah Jazz can't get a win for Ty Corbin. He's 0-3 as interim coach. 107-100 Sports Center after the game. Dave?
That's a big road win for Golden State as well. Here, Denver trailing Milwaukee by 1. Anthony is 38, but John Salmons with a season high 33 for the Bucks.
Well, on a night when Andrew Bogut and Brandon Jennings are 2 for 16 for 6 points, it's been John Salmons rather to the rescue. He's shown everything. He can put the ball on the floor. He's knocked down jump shots. And you mentioned it earlier, if he can play like the way he played last year, magic in a bottle. He was terrific for this team as they made a great run to the playoffs and won 46 games. We're seeing signs of that now. And if he can do that, maybe we'll see the Bucks do the same thing this year and get themselves into the playoffs.
Well, they had only 36 losses last year. They have 33 already this year. They're 10th in the East, 3.5 back of 8th place Indiana. His career high, by the way, is 38, Salmons. He's done that twice. Out of the timeout, they get Billups a shot, and he hits a 3.
Well drawn up there. A double screen for Chauncey Billups. Brandon Jennings get caught watching the basketball, doesn't trail his man, gets picked off, and Billups makes him pay.
Denver by 2. Bogut and Jennings a combined 2 of 16 for Milwaukee, so it's in the hands of Salmons again with 5. Salmons in and out on the three-point try. Carmelo Anthony now with 9 rebounds, averaging a personal best 7.5 per game. Here's Kenyon Martin, little elbow to the chin of Maggette. Shot clock at 6. Billups again, this time off the mark. There's Salmons on the drive, spinning into the lane and got tripped. 4th team foul on Denver. That's Nene's gone. Instead, they're going to get a Flalo, and that's 4 on him.
Well, this is when Andrew Bogut's got to step up. I know he's been struggling. He's 1 of 7 from the floor, but you want to get this ball inside. Got a smaller Kenyon Martin on him. Establish yourself down there. Want the ball. Make yourself available.
Last touch by Denver. 11 to shoot. Well, since the timeout, we've seen 3 three-point shots. 2 by Denver, 1 by Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of interior play across the whole league nowadays, Dave.
Shot clock at 8. Jennings on Billups.
Here comes another long jump shot.
Shot clock at 1. Yep. Jennings had to get rid of it. And it's a violation. Did not hit the rim.
Yeah, bad recognition there. Jennings didn't know the clock. And we have somebody running across the floor.
Now there's a stoppage because somebody took their shirt off and either ran onto the court or attempted to run onto the court, and he was tackled. So at least they get that cleaned up and play a stop only a minute or so. I think these security guards watched the Super Bowl and how the Packers tackled because they took that guy down to get him out of there and let play continue. 2-point game, minute and a half to go. Denver on top of Milwaukee.
Clay Matthews on the stop, I believe, in the tunnel over there.
Here's Melo. He's got 38 points. And way off there, but Martin backside puts it in to make it a 2-possession game.
How about just the 3rd offensive rebound of the game for the Nuggets? Couldn't come at a better time as Martin knocks it in and puts the Nuggets up 4.
ESPN is the home court of college hoops. Friday night, it's a Big East battle. UConn taking on Louisville. Kemba Walker's shot has been struggling of late. Was a Player of the Year candidate early in the year. Even though Louisville tonight, Louisville lost tonight, Rick Pitino's done a good job with that group. Starts at 9 Eastern Friday on ESPN. Marquette, currently a member of the Big East. National champs back in 1977.
Al McGuire.
4-point game here. Denver on top. Minute 20 remaining. Milwaukee ball. And Bogut inside, fouled. And get Kenyon Martin.
Fortunately for the Nuggets, it's Andrew Bogut going to the line, who shoots 40% from the free throw line. 40. I'd take you, Dave, in a free throw matchup. 40. Really?
Take a lot of people.
Oh my God.
Second worst behind Brendan Haywood back in his rookie year, and even last year. You wonder, is the arm affecting the foul shooting? Because this not even close to what it's been earlier in his career.
I don't think he broke his arm in 2005, so I'm going to say no.
All right.
Right? I mean, well, from the footage I've seen, I'd say no.
3-point game as Bogut gets 1 of 2. 1 minute to go. Here's Anthony. Melo has taken 29 shots. He's hit 16. He gives it up here, but is called for the charge.
Oh, wow.
Bogut out of the restricted area. Stepped in there and drew the offensive foul.
And Chauncey Billups, that was the same play they ran for him to get that 3-point shot. Carmelo broke the play. He took that basketball to the rim. Billups coming off a double screen, winds up getting a charge call on Anthony. Huge play in this game.
Maggette for the tie, in and out as Milwaukee went for the 3. Still a 1-possession game, 42 seconds remaining. Shot clock at 9. Here's Billups. Finds Carmelo. Bamute knocked it out of bounds. 6 to shoot.
Well, must stop here for the Bucks. Timeout by George Karl. Basket here really will put the Bucks behind the 8 ball.
33.4 to go in the game. 6 on the shot clock. Denver ball and a 3-point lead when we come back. Back in Milwaukee, Denver by 3 with the ball, 6 to shoot, 33.4 in the game clock. Dave Pass, John Barry, you know it's going to Carmelo, so how do you defend it if you're Milwaukee?
Well, you would think. I mean, Bamute, a terrific perimeter defender. Just got to get a hand up. It's probably going to be a jump shot. Just don't let him get anything going to the rim. Make it a fadeaway jump shot. Make it as tough as possible. But we've seen Melo make tough shots before.
As Scott Skiles told us after the third quarter, they've defended him well. He's just made great shots. A Flalo to inbound. Here's Anthony. 4 to shoot. Anthony for 3. Short. Maggette rebounds. Milwaukee's got a timeout, and Scott Skiles will call it here.
Well, terrific defense. You can't ask for anything better. A contested 3-point shot. Bamute did the job. Now the Bucks have it. Down 3 with 28 seconds to go. Let's see what they run on the other end.
Three-point game. Denver on top late here in Milwaukee. If this is Carmelo Anthony's final game as a Nugget, he is going out shooting a season-high 30 attempts. He's made 16. So he's over 50%, 38 points on the night.
Well, Scott Skiles said we've done a nice job, and they have. Second half, yes, 17 points, but just 6 of 15 from the field. Bamute has gotten the bulk of Carmelo Anthony. Carlos Delfino had a tough time, just doesn't have the size. But here we are in a one-possession game, and let's see what the Bucks come up with. Johnny Salmons has got to be your guy, I would assume, but you can go for a quick 2 here. There's no need to just settle for a 3 unless you get a really good look.
They've hit only 3 threes the entire night. 3 for 22 from behind the arc. Here's Salmons. He's got 33 points. He'll let it fly. Short with a 3. Maggette rebounds. He'll take it back up, and Martin punches it out of there.
Woo! Karch Karai with the spike down. Oh, my goodness.
Bucks have missed their last 7 shots. No field goals the last 4 minutes. They still have possession, down 3. 21.6 on the clock. Salmons to the basket. Blocked again by Martin. Into the hands of Anthony, who's fouled with 16.3 left.
TP, I think Melo might have got that one. We're talking about his lack of defense. I think he is the one that came in there and stripped that ball. Let's see. Salmons puts it on the floor. And I believe it was Melo with the swipe.
Right.
Yeah, Melo got it. Tried that earlier in the ball game, got a foul call, but good play there. And look at Karch Karai get up for the throwdown. That's going to be me on the beach this weekend at All-Star Weekend down on Hermosa Beach. In my 2-on-2 volleyball. Get ready for me and the boys down there.
Back to more important matters. That was actually not the foul that put Denver at the line. Milwaukee had a foul to give, so then Jennings grabbed Billups as soon as they inbounded the ball. And Billups is the number 2 free throw shooter in the league.
Yeah, not the guy you want to foul. You know, I always believe that maybe you should get one trap, make him throw it out, and then foul. But nonetheless, 2-possession game here with 15 to go. I thought it was interesting. Salmons took the ball to the basket at that point. He took a 3 earlier in the clock. He was going to settle for 2 there. But I thought they had a decent play where he could have ran out to the 3-point line and got a shot there.
Billups in the month of February is 24 of 24 at the foul line. 5-point game.
Got to be a 3 now.
Instead, Maggette takes it to the basket. Contact, but no foul. And they're going to say Maggette just lost it out of bounds. And that kind of a year for the Bucks. They're going to drop to 21 and 34. With a loss here tonight to Denver is going to go to 32 and 25. Foul on Jennings again. Billups going back to the line. Well, on a night where Phil Jackson said the Lakers took the All-Star break off early, you have a team in Denver that we thought we might see with the Nuggets. We're given all the trade rumors, but it didn't happen. They came out and played well and got the win.
Yeah, it wouldn't have surprised me. 2 horrific losses at Memphis, at Houston prior to this game, and they got off to a great start, let the Bucks back in it. took another lead, let the Bucks back in it, but they responded here in the fourth quarter. A lot of good execution. Carmelo Anthony still the difference maker. Chauncey Billups, a big set play three that kind of got him rolling, got to get back into this ball game. And they're a box of chocolates. It should be the Denver box of chocolates, not the Denver Nuggets, because you honestly never know what you're going to get on a nightly basis. And we'll see what happens in the next 8 days. The fate of this franchise really up in the air over the next course of a week. It'll be the Melo watch at All-Star Weekend, and we'll see if something breaks.
Melo has 38 tonight as Denver beats Milwaukee 94-87. Milwaukee finishes the game missing its last 10 shots and going 4 minutes and 23 seconds without a field goal. 17-5 run by Melo and the Nuggets to close out the game. SportsCenter is up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For John Barry, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Milwaukee. Highlights, games around the NBA, and the latest on the Carmelo Anthony trade talk coming up on SportsCenter right now.